And Governor Meyer, we're in a partial government shutdown for the Homeland Security Department here in Washington. Is it having an impact in the states?
We're not seeing much impact yet. We're just eager in Delaware, as is true in much of the country, we're eager to see the partisanship end. This is about Homeland Security, should not be a partisan issue. Now, there's certainly been overreach on immigration. You can see it across the country. People do not want untrained uniformed officers coming in to yank people out of cars, to judge people based on the language they speak or the food they eat or the clothes they're wearing. And I think that the Democrats here in Washington, senators and congresspeople, are rightly standing up saying that Homeland Security should not be properly funded till we address this. People are in fear across our state.
You've seen the Democrats' demands here in Washington, 10 different demands. Do you think that they need to compromise, though, on those 10?
I think that 10 is a compromise. It's a compromise on immigration. Listen, there needs to be comprehensive immigration reform. In 2024, as Governor Armstrong, then Congressman Armstrong knows well, they were very close to a compromise to move that forward. And until there's a change to the 1986 law to address our 2026 needs, I think it's very hard for there to be any kind of sane Homeland Security policy.
Governor Armstrong, where do you think the red line is on those 10 demands from Democrats?
Well, I think the problem is, you know what it's not affecting? ICE. ICE was funded in the reconciliation bill last fall. I mean, we haven't seen it yet, but when TSA employees in the middle of March stop getting paid and people start having delayed flights, people are going to be pretty frustrated, but it's not having an effect on Homeland Security. I've never been a fan of negotiating in D.C. on something that's actually not affected by what you're doing. We've had these fights, by the way, that have, like on 702 reauthorization, FISA reauthorization. They get really cumbersome really fast when you're negotiating for something that isn't actually affected in the bill. And that's what's going on with the DHS shutdown.
Well, Democrats, go ahead.
Wait a second, Governor Armstrong. I'm not a D.C. guy as much as you're a D.C. guy. I don't necessarily understand all the details from the negotiation in Congress. But a few weeks ago, there was a total government shutdown we were heading into, and I believe the compromise is let's set aside immigration, let's discuss it in the context of the Homeland Security bill and resolve it in the context of the Homeland Security bill. So now if you come back and say, well, immigration is separate, it's constantly trying to separate out this thing. You got to understand that in many communities across our country, there is deep-seated fear. This is, by budget, the 13th largest police force in the world that's now going into American communities. There are no guardrails on it in terms of due process. ICE officers have shown, certainly either within their training or outside their training, a willingness to pull out their gun and use lethal force against Americans who are simply protesting against the work that they're doing.
My point is, as a strategy, they're fully funded. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're fully funded right now. Where you're going to see the pressure points are the Coast Guard, FEMA, things that are really important to my state, TSA, anybody who's flying in and out. So I just think as a tactic, it's a terrible tactic.
Do you think the Republicans correctly, strategically got through the shutdown and now it's funded?
Well, the shutdown was, we could talk about the shutdown, the original 80-day shutdown on healthcare that wasn't actually a part of the appropriations bills at the time. And I think I get a little frustrated when everybody thinks they won, and I think the North Dakotan citizens lose over an 80-day shutdown, and I think that happens a lot out here. I'm just saying, right now, ICE is fully capable of operating significantly longer than TSA, Coast Guard, or FEMA, and I think that's a tough negotiating position to put yourselves in.
After the optics